If you're going to do a live and flip, you need a renovation game plan. You need to know your budget. You need to know what work you can do, what work you're going to have someone else do, and what work you should do. So let's talk about all that in this lesson. The first thing you're going to want to do is make a project plan that's just going to be basically a list of the items that you want to do on the house. I like to put these in a spreadsheet so I can put the costs next to it and add everything up. Just makes it easier for me. Let me show you one of those I did on a recent renovation. Okay, so here's a project I just did, 207 Seal Lane, Westchester. I just did this project budget. So this goes through the different things in the project. Okay, we ended up, sometimes I think I'm going to do something, so I project it, then I see what I actually did and how much I actually spent. And yeah, that's an interesting thing because I ended up going way over budget on this one by, looks like about $40,000. It happens. So you should plan to go over budget. This was obviously a huge project where I renovated extensively. This house was completely gutted. I mean, obviously your project plan might be smaller, but okay, we got tree removal, stumps. This is what I got some quotes on things too, which you can do to put in here. I got an exterior doorknob, a new front doorknob, raising the front steps, the drywall repairs, shed I had to remove. I need to do windows, siding. This ended up getting quoted as a bulk package for $64,000. I definitely underestimated a lot of this. But anyway, this is a basic project plan. You get the idea. I'm happy to share the spreadsheet, but it's really easy. It's just item projected, so far actual, and then I put comments. When I complete stuff, I mark it green. I did finish this, so I'll make it green. Once you have a list of your items that you know you want to do, you're going to make it so it's in chronological order of what you want to start with and what you want to finish with. If you have a house that only has one full bathroom, this can really be an issue, and you want to tackle that probably before you move in, because if you can't shower, that is a problem. Some things you can work on while you're in the house, but I would say one of the main things you really need is to be able to shower. You can eat out, I guess you can shower at Planet Fitness if you have a membership and this and that, but that's a huge inconvenience. So I almost won't recommend to people to buy a live and flip with only one bathroom, but if you have to do it, then do it before you move in. Definitely a helpful tip. Anyway, once you have your list, then you can go through and start pricing out each option. Now, you can Google items like, I need to replace a vanity. Well, you can go pick out a vanity online and you know how much it's going to be. And then, okay, I've got to pay a few $100 to have that installed, something along those lines. So you can kind of get an idea how much a toilet costs, what's a vanity cost, how much does flooring cost. You can go to the flooring store, pick out the flooring you want, see how much you're going to need, basically by taking some measurements in the house, and try to get all these line items in. So you want to get your budget as figured out as possible. Now, you may get some things quoted and go, I can paint myself. I'm not going to pay this guy $8,000 to paint the house. Or I could lay flooring myself. I'm not going to pay this person $5,000 to do that. Or I can learn to do those things. So that's really, up to you. Things that I don't like to do myself are electrical, plumbing, roof, and structural work. So those things I tend to stay away from. I don't mind tiling. I don't mind doing finishing work. I don't mind doing baseboard. I don't even mind laying floor, installing fixtures, vanities. I don't mind doing all that stuff. I don't like the things that are in the wall that I can't really see and touch. So again, safety issues. Those things I think it can really make a lot of sense to have a professional do. You will find that quotes can vary wildly from contractor to contractor. So I recommend getting 3 quotes for the bigger jobs, the bigger things that you need. A kitchen designer can really be a big help in a kitchen. I have a kitchen designer that does like a design for several $100s and then sells you the cabinets. They come, they get delivered. You got a guy to hang them, that kind of thing. So anyway, you want to get your project plan together as much as possible before you close, so you know what you want to order and who you're going to hire and how much it's going to cost prior to you closing. The better you have that lined up, the better you're going to do in terms of the speed at which you move. And that's a big deal because if you move slowly, then you're going to have a much longer renovation. Another important tip with contractors and managing contractors is get everything in writing, have the scope of supply in writing, make sure it's agreed upon, make sure you go through all these little details like, we're putting in base molding. Are you caulking it? Are you painting it? Try to think through as many things as you can to make sure that you're on the same page, because what one person might think they're doing, it might be different than what you think. Another tip is you might be able to get somebody to do it for time and materials. So, hey, I'm going to buy the vanity. It's going to be delivered there for you. All you need to do is come and install it. How long is that going to take you? Oh, it's going to take me 3 hours. Okay, how much would you like to charge me? Oh, I'll charge you $300. That way you can kind of see what labor rate you're paying. If you can figure out how much time they're expecting to spend on it, do not pay them by the hour, pay them by the job, but just try to understand, okay, I'm paying $300, you're going to be here for 3 hours. That kind of makes sense. But if it's $3,000 and you're going to be here for 3 hours, that doesn't make sense. When you buy materials for the contractors, that takes that off their plate, takes the risk off of their plate, and that reduces their costs and their perceived risk, because one of their big fears is not getting paid, and a lot of times they're also not great with managing their cash or cash flow. So if you can buy the materials, you usually will get a better price from a contractor. I would say the other thing is pay the contractors quickly once the work is done, but do not pay them at least all the money before the work is done. That is suicide. You will definitely lose your money, or they will just not show up for a long time. People are motivated by money. Do not give someone a 90% deposit or something like that. If they want a deposit, just say, oh, like I'll pay you for the materials when they're delivered. I'll hand you the check, or I'll give you the check the day you start, or something like that. If you can avoid deposits up front, that's really, really important, so you don't get taken. It does happen. It does happen. Another thing you can be working on too, if you know in your project plan that you're going to be doing something yourself, is start studying how to do that. And also just think, hey, if I did mess this up, could I redo it again, and would it be that expensive? So, hey, you do a flooring job, you maybe miss a board or you don't put things together right. Okay, I can redo that. It's going to be a learning process, but I think it's so beautiful when you can learn how to do things for yourself. Like, I know how to tile. I know how to lay floor. I know how to put in base molding. I know how to hang cabinets. Whatever it is, you can really learn anything on YouTube, and I recommend watching a couple different tutorials so that you can get different people's perspectives on how to do it and get tips and tricks on how to do it. I do good tile work because I watched 3 tiling videos about how to level the tub and everything else. So, like I said, you can really learn if you just take the time to do the tutorial before you get started. I hope that's really helpful in understanding what you need to do to your live and flip. Don't get too carried away with your renovations and your costs and everything else, because then you're going to really impact how much money you're going to make at the end. And you may want to be thinking about the sale in mind with how you renovate the house. Maybe you like pink cabinets, maybe not everybody likes pink cabinets, and that's going to impact the overall goal of doing a live and flip. The next lesson is going to be how to live and flip with your next plan in mind. What are you doing afterwards, and how is that going to impact what you do in this situation, and what are your options after you do a live and flip, and where is that going to take you?